Information, inspiration, motivation, conscientisation et surtout distraction. Gade tout, votre pot pourri avec Flore. Gade tout, qui produit Radio TV que entendez et gardez l'indifférent network.
I'm your surgeon, Dr. Roman Joseph.
This show is brought to you by Jeff Hess, Attorney at Law, 305-255-2797. Ça, c'est avocat PAM. Jeff Hess, spécialisé dans accident machine. Ou glisser ou tomber dans la rue, dans maquette, avocat pour les cougner là, c'est Jeff Hess, 305-255-2797. Jeff también habla español, 305-255-2797. Allô, avocat, ça, c'est Jeff. Ma parler les cougner là.
Bonjour, bonsoir. Bienvenue à une nouvelle sortie de Radio TV avec Dr. Flore. Radio TV, c'est radio et télévision mariées ensemble. Mais jeudi, c'est Gade Tattoo Book Talk. Book Talk, which in lieu of a book signing, it's a conversation between readers of the book that I published, beyond a book, the philosophy that I've been sharing for the past 14 years. It gives me great pleasure today to be a trio for that conversation. Both gentlemen are very dear to me, and I'm looking forward to their feedback, their critics, and for the future readers to learn and hear from them. Welcome on Gade Tattoo Book Talk, produced today by Radio TV with Dr. Flore, starting with the young generation, Dany and Raffoul. How are you, Dany? The show is generally bilingual, and to be sensitive, we always do something in Spanish, very short for the Hispanic community, and all three of us can do that. That way they feel blended, and also Faustin is there. Starting with you, Dany, how are you? And Happy New Year. Welcome
here
on Gade Tattoo Book Talk.
Thank you for having me on your show. I really enjoyed your book, and I'm really looking forward to talking about it today and discussing it with Faustin and you.
Very good. Faustin, can you introduce yourself and also
Definitely.
You got the book and you read it?
Not only I read it, my daughter read it as well, and she had the privilege to be with you a few weeks ago and to have a very passionate discussion regarding the book with you. And tonight, here we are, very excited. We read it, and we want, first of all, to congratulate you for putting together words in order to express certain important concepts from your mind. Thanks for the opportunity to have that conversation so we can elevate our spirit. Thanks so much. And it's a pleasure to meet Dany.
Non, c'est toi, haïtien de soldats, haïtien, les juifs, les caribéens, les tout. Mais nous tous les trois parlons créole tout. Et nous avons que haïtiens qui ont gardé nos trois haïtiens là, eh bien, pour y encourager, pour y lire. Dany, ou même yo dit que haïtien pas lire, pour côté les livres là.
Non, haïtien qui lit bien, haïtien intelligent, haïtien, on a tout le monde. All over the world, il y a beaucoup d'Haïtiens, Haïtiens plus intelligents, Haïtiens qui Haïti et qui en diaspora, yo ka li beaucoup. Moi, juste songer qu'un jour, l'homme était high school, nous avons un speaker qui était un écrivain haïtien. Et ça t'a fait moi très plaisir, ouais, que même l'homme parti la Guyane, l'homme parti en pays créole, et moi venu ici aux États-Unis, nous toujours des cas écouter et lire écrivain haïtien. Donc, pour moi-même, l'homme moi commencé à lire Gade tout, moi t'es très émotionnel parce que pour moi c'était non seulement un livre en anglais, mais aussi un livre qui était gain anti quelque chose de spécial. Là, il était gain petit mot en créole et tout ça. Donc, moi, même ça livre beaucoup.
OK. Faustin, pour Haïtien qui gardé gade tête ou obtient des m'a dit ça longtemps et ça veut dire pour est-ce que l'entendez l'lit est-ce que c'est même bagarre
Et effectivement, c'est même bagarre là parce que moi j'ai un privilège pour moi amis ça fait quelques jours et garder tête tout vraiment c'est aider nous pour nous comprendre tête nous et ou mentionner avant là tout à l'heure là de lire et je pense que lire c'est une des plus bon bagaille que un monde capable faire avec livre et surtout lire livre ça côté ou prend un pile temps pour parler de enfance de et c'est parti que moi pire aimé dans le livre là pour te dire vrai parce que moi senti une connexion grand pile bagaille que malgré que moi bien avoir longtemps mais que m'pas jamais connaît réellement de vous-même mais les moi li premier jusqu'à sixième chapitre yo, moi comprendre moi ouais et ou même en réalité. Donc, nous pas qu'à passer nous de la lecture parce que c'est là pour apprendre idée et que grand piloteur qui dit ça, les idées ont des conséquences. Et idéaux, c'est pour développer nous, c'est pour grandir nous. Et si au mauvaise tout, c'est pour détruire nous. Donc, moi, bien content, toute idée qui passait dans le livre qu'on écrit, c'est des idées extraordinaires parce que l'on commence à considérer chaque autre chapitre, c'est des termes qui importants que vous développez là-dedans. Donc, côté, nous besoin d'apprendre termes ça et vivre de eux-mêmes et chaque jour. Donc, moi-même, moi vraiment féliciter vous parce que, et premièrement, nous toujours respecter l'homme qui écrit un livre. Depuis mon écrit un livre, je peux même ouvrir, même get en bas 50 sous 100. Comprenez? Mais après, les mots ouvrir pour m'agarder ça que la donne, donc laisse ça, l'autre 50 ans, mon apprendre. Et effectivement, donc, nous allons discuter chapitre, donc, et nous avons des possibilités pour nous parler beaucoup plus. Mais félicitations, son travail extraordinaire.
Dany, let me start with you. Then Faustin said he likes the first 6 chapters where he discovered someone that he did not know. But more than anything, I did not want the book to be about me, and that's why it starts with me like a semi-memoir, but also open up for the world to be inspired, and also has that as an outline for anyone who wish also to tell their story, to not be afraid, to know that the infancy, that the identity, the who you are, has to be established at very early age. I don't know what is your take on that?
Well, I have to say that the fact that you spoke about yourself in this book made all the difference because a lot of books try to give you tips on life and how to deal with the challenges that arrive throughout a life, but really they don't really connect with the reader the same way that your book did, because not only do I know you and I could really hear you when I was reading this book, I really felt that the background of a lifetime of accomplishment really gave us a perspective for how to develop yourself, right? If you're giving somebody advice on how to develop yourself, you're really doing them a disservice if you're not explaining to them how you came to those conclusions yourself. And I thought that that was the main reason why I like this book so much. Really, I think that when you spoke about your experiences, not only did I relate, but I feel like every reader really can relate to how to come about in a new country, how to overcome challenges, how to educate yourself, how to become a better person, a better individual, a better family member, a better businessman. And I think you really hit the jackpot here with this book. I really enjoyed reading it. I sat down and I read it in one session in 5 hours. I was captivated. It was as if I sat down with you and we hung out for 5 hours, and you basically told me a lifetime of accomplishments and tips on how I can get better. And I really enjoyed it, seriously.
You are a reader of leadership theories, Faustin. I know you like Maxwell, you like great authors in the areas of leadership. And what is it that captivated you, that that you can say, okay, from reading from a Haitian author, that at least you are a father, you are already, I don't know, you have your own identity. Then what a book like that will change and foster?
A lot, because as Dany was mentioning, and as I said before, reading the first because we learn a lot of. There are a lot of books about entrepreneurship, how to build your credit and family, friends, marriage, and etc. We have so many books covering this matter. And but what I enjoy is the fact that you take each one of those terms, important terms, and you relate them with your personal life, with you. Like for example, in the chapter of business, I'm sorry, not practically business, but then in the chapter of faith, of family, you put yourself inside of it, and then to make it personal, and to make the information relatable, so people can feel you and can receive the knowledge as they're supposed to. It was like you made those terms yours, like talking about community, talking about like when you left Haiti, all those things together made it a, a wonderful work. So yes, I've read a lot of them, a lot of good books across in the past years, and I was enjoying reading yours, but specifically the way you personalize each one of those teaching terms, put them into you so you may convey the information and the knowledge.
When people are looking at us, I think we are representing a community, because that's the message I want to convey in the philosophy of Gade. Sometimes, because we are three immigrants, we wherever we arrive, we feel that, okay, we're looking to belong wherever we arrive. But after some experience from leaving Haiti, Puerto Rico, and being in Miami, and being now of a half century, I have nothing to hide. And I don't think at that level, if I tell someone that if they're talking about someone committing a crime, like a Haitian who committed a crime, often they will say, okay, if that person committed that crime, it's bad in the entire community. No, I don't think like that anymore. It is that person that did his mess. He needs to be caught and paid for his mess. It's not my business. It's not that I became selfish, but it's a level of maturity that every time if Faustin mess up, then okay, hey, Faustin made it on Channel 10 and the news, then wow, this Haitian made the Haitian community look bad. I don't see things like that anymore because I feel that what it's not something I have to bring to a place, to a location anymore. It's not something that I expect from that location. It's what I can bring to that environment. We expect so much from environment and from people that in growing now and transforming and developing also the watchdog leadership, I come to realize if I cannot give to Dany, if I cannot give to Faustin, if my world inside my house is not what the reflection that I want it to be, I'm going to be living a funny life because, you cannot give what you don't have. And something I think I would like for us to really inspire people, it's that expectation that our community needs to be financially stable. But if you broke yourself, how you expect a community gonna be financially stable? Because you have to be able to invest, you have to be able to create jobs, I believe. I don't know. What do you think, Dany? From the Jewish perspective and your family, from your grandpa side, the concept of family is different, no? Or community is different.
That is a very interesting question because Jews are a big community. And I guess you could relate that to the Haitian community where they really do feel like if one person does something, then somehow it reflects the entire community. And you touched on that in your book about how it takes a certain maturity to look beyond that and say, this is not me. I represent what is good in this community. And that's a very interesting question.
And that's what makes you authentic. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah.
Because, if we're trying to really please people, or maybe I've done it for so long, and I think it was a level of immaturity. And now that I'm understanding maturity, I spent years of chasing people. Like Faustin needs help, I jump. Dany needs help, I jump. No, not anymore at 50. Dany needs help, I need to assess who Dany is, what kind of help Dany, the who, what, where, when, why. Because I jump too much. I jump. I in 29 years in Miami, at least I jumped for 25 years until I woke up and then I was writing that when I said, but it's not really helping. I made people abuse me, and I was not mature, and I redefine community as I evolve. Then I see myself going to some Catholic churches. I was comfortable, and after that, when I was not comfortable, I walk away from them too. Because if I'm going to church, instead of praying, I'm listening to the kind of jacket that Faustin is wearing, the kind of car that he's driving. It's not a healthy environment. And we need to admit it, And those are the things I think I brought to the book. And I think we need to instill in our children as well. And that's very important.
Great.
And you are from
Definitely.
a different type of community. Your faith is different, Faustin. How do you manage that?
Repeat that again. I'm sorry.
When we're talking about Haitian community, when it comes to your faith, for example, it's different than mine. Then how are you able to respect people from different faith and still feel part of a community?
Well, first of all, we have to be very humble. Yes, I think humility is necessary, and then understanding that we all have and miss something, and then we can get from one another. And also we have to support one another because it's a long run. We have to do so, and that's in terms of the jumping you were talking about. And I'm so it comes with age, you know.
It comes with age.
It comes with age. So you realize, you know what? Let me let me because you to make sure you focus you really focus your priorities. You really focus
Priorities.
what's really important, because once you not or close to 50 or you're 50, you feel like now it's important to
To
be
recraft, to
more.
reevaluate, to reborn.
Yes,
Yes. And you see,
exactly,
I use all
exactly.
those terms with COVID because we were all in the same boat. And we
Mhm.
live to see the essence of Gade. This is a daily self quest that we have to do until we take the last breath. I was joking with
Sure.
friends that I was saying that if someone is mad at me, like when I'm alive, they don't need to come to my funeral. And we live to see funeral with 10 people. Okay, it's not something with 100 people, 200 people anymore.
Yeah.
Then you have to be true to yourself.
Yes.
Talking about Haiti, um, and page 99 in the book, Haiti has has gone to its independence for 215 years. Why do you take today in 2021, exactly today, which is Mardi Gras? One region of Haiti is having carnival, Dany, and one other side of the country is protesting. Why are we at that level?
Hmm. I think Haitian people are so diverse, even though they all come from one country. I think it's very important to realize how diverse they are, their ideas, their mode of thinking. And always when I talk to Haitian people, they always tell me, I'm not that kind of a Haitian or this kind of a Haitian. They really do feel like they have a sense of identity within this identity. And I think that different Haitians have different priorities and have different visions of how Haiti should be. And I think that is why there is such a big difference. When I was in college, I was in part of a small club called Club Creole, and they spoke about a lot about um, what are the struggles of Haiti, how can we fix them? And then when I came back to Miami and I started becoming much closer to the Haitian community, I heard another side of how to fix issues. And I think it's really comes to show that even though you are Haitian, you're actually an individual. And it's a lot of different people in one country. And I think that's why there is such a big difference of idea and thought.
Then Faustin, we will not live to see one vision in that country. And Dany is honest enough to say that if a country has 10 million people, then there should be 10 million visions.
Well, choices matter. Choices matter. You know, the choice that we make. And I always go to the beginning of Haiti and try to understand for myself. You know, try to analyze why we are where we at and why we still at this level. And I realized even though we did the unthinkable or the unbelievable things that not even Spartacus could have done, with his army against the Roman Republic. So, but we did it. That was exceptional. But then after, our choices were not that great. Our choices were not that great. First of all, we we humiliate the hero of our independence, Dessalines. You know the story how he died, the plot and etc. And I love to compare the United States to Haiti, and and when you study the history of it's Haiti, it was Haiti, the United States, and France. They were together. These three, they were they were impacting the world with the idea of freedom. And the French people did it. The American people did it, and we did it even way greater because we're a slave. Never in history of the world, maybe with the Jews, in the history of the world, where slaves stood up and became a nation.
But Haiti went and helped all those nations.
And we did that too. But after that, the choices, and one of the choices that I regret a lot, and it's still rob on us till today, is that education. We still don't have uh, we're still a community or a country where most of the people cannot even read. Uh-uh. We need ideas. Ideas make us. So, and we get ideas moving from one mind to another mind through words. For example, through reading your book. From reading your book, we get your ideas. We learn a lot from how to be careful with debt, how debt can destroy us. But if I cannot even read, if most people in that community cannot even read cursively the words, how are they gonna grab those ideas and to start implementing them and to change their life? There is no secret, as we say in Creole. Pas gen secret nan fe kou la. There's no secret and becoming successful and becoming bigger than we were yesterday, knowing education is the first step. But till today, it seems like it's not important. So yes, as Dany said from the beginning, we are smart. And we need to stop telling us this lie as well, Dany. I'm so sorry to say it. Yes, we're smart, but not that smart. Because
Yeah,
if we
no,
were
we are smart, but not that smart, but yet we still smart because I
well,
told my student there's a major difference between being smart and being intelligent. Then maybe we need to check ourselves out and work on our intelligence because the intelligence would have taken us to the education process that you mentioned. Because in the book, I tell everyone when people are asking me what Haiti needs, I said the first thing is education because the country is so poor that at least if a family of 8 one child knew how to read for its parents, at least the poverty can be reduced, jobs could be created, and people could communicate better. Now my country is that a child at 5 years old is a member of a gang. A child at 5 years old is in the protest and barefoot instead of holding a book. You understand? And that's not smart. But
Yeah.
if we had an intelligent leadership, the emotional intelligence, I, I think Haiti would have not have today that we're having the show two presidents. And we had that already in the history, no? President in the south, president in the north. Those things are repeating themselves.
Mhm.
But no matter what, that never happened in the US to have two presidents at the same time. That happened in Venezuela, in Haiti. Then now that takes me to the politics in the US. no matter what, I used that sentence and I said I will share it with you guys. No
If
matter
you
how angry political American candidates can be, until January 6, 2021, they sold the country first. In America, I don't care what people said, the America that have been living in 29 until January 6, because January 6, they look just like 80. But in America, I don't care about studies or anything, they always put the country first, except on January 6th. What do you think, Dany?
But oh, I'm sorry.
Why no matter, regardless how presidents are angry at each other, America is always first, except that's my opinion. Except on January 6th, America was not first. What happened?
I think what we saw is the system that was put in place in America, even on January 20th, proved that it can withstand anything. And I think that's what makes America strong. You understand? I think that's what other countries may lack, is that throughout protests and riots and anger and division, on January 20th, we turned the page, and the system, you know, the foundation, the core of this country, actually, it worked. It worked itself out. And I think that that's very important. I think that's what I take from this entire incident, from this entire pandemic, even. It really, I take from it that the country withstood all of the troubles that it had. Just like how you talk about here, Gade Tetu, America Gade Tetu. And it came back to their values and who they are. What did we build? And how do we move forward? And I think the system, the education that you got, that your mother, that your father gave you, I think that is what made us and helped us move forward on January 20th. And I think I'm proud of this country. I know I am.
What you said is very deep. And I think you're very courageous, and I think you're very inspiring. Because when I speak to Faustin, and I said, Faustin, do you think that America is back? And now I can ask you, Faustin. Then I know we said, okay, that we look at the values and things like that, but we're still mad at each other. When I'm not in the show, I'm mad at you for many things when it comes to politics, Faustin. Then what make us having the decency to even do this show today?
Well, we're gonna be mad at each other all the time. It's gonna because that's what happened between teeth and tongue all the time. They bite one another. So things will happen, circumstances will happen. And then one part in your book you said, but it's the reading, the way we manage,
the way we react to the circumstances, yes.
that determine our strength and our weaknesses, you know, and our weaknesses. So as Dany said, I was so glad to see on the 20th of January there was a peaceful transition of power from one person from one administration to another one. And we want to continue seeing that, but that doesn't mean the system is kind of, according to what I think, is taking a lot of blows because as I love the founding fathers, and that's why I was trying to establish. And that's why education is so vital, because the only thing that separates us, Haiti, from the United States, because we started to become a great country, just like the United States of America.
When?
No, from our beginning, from our very beginning.
How long did it last?
Not that long, not that long. But we were in the corner that we, as we say in Creole, nous te nan kafua pour ça. But then again, the choices after the independence, because
the betrayal, the phenomenon of crab. C'est-à-dire que we did the independence 1804 et puis 215 ans après, c'est même bagaille yo, ou gen deux présidents, ou gen trois carnaval, ou gen opposition qui pas opposition, tandis que les États-Unis gen opposition. C'est-à-dire que aux États-Unis il y a opposition et l'opposition parler, opposition parler.
it's come to ideas. What kind of ideas that are going through our mind, and those ideas you learn them because. But anyway, I am so glad to see this country now is moving along. Everybody is trying, even though they're mad, but they continue the process. They're respecting. That's the thing here. We respect the process. Everything in the process may not be perfect. There are a lot of problems for sure, but apparently it seems like we respect the process. And all this is possible because of ideas. Because of ideas. We need to start teaching our kids, teaching our Haitian people, our brothers, our sisters, and find ways to have more schools in the country, more universities, to have more ideas flowing, to have more flow writing book like Gade for us to start reflecting, thinking, because thinking is not an easy job. And we have to think to produce. We have to think to be better and to do better. When we talk about wisdom, for example, what do you think the combination of wisdom is? The combination of knowledge and doing. Knowledge and doing. So if we don't have the knowledge, how are we gonna do what we're gonna do?
That's nice. Then we have 5 more minutes to wrap up. Gentlemen, I am very humble. And I'm very pleased at least we touch in politics without fear. Parce que moi-même, je suis capable de gagner nous tous deux là. Et puis ensuite, après ça, nous, c'est 2 amis. Et perspectives politiques nous souvent différents. But let me ask you sincerely, why do you think I lost my election, Dany? That's okay. Why do you think I lost?
Good question. That's a very good question. I think what happened is that at the core, the electorate is uneducated, is unwilling to look and seek out candidates and change, and instead sit back and wait for a candidate to be sold to them. The same way that the American consumer will not seek out to go and buy something, they will be sold it through advertisement and marketing. And I think that's what happened. They saw your opposition. They saw it as business as usual. They were sold to them, it was fed to them, and they didn't seek out to look for something new. And I think that was the biggest issue, because what you sold them was something special that I really, really loved. And you fought so hard, and you established a movement that was so strong, and the vision and the substance of what you spoke about. Basically, this entire book, this is why I was part of this campaign, because all these things.
Oh, you're gonna be amazed to see the journey of the campaign. Moi, je dis Dany, pour qui ça, moi-même, je fais du campagne, et c'est pas livre campagne, là. Je pense que c'est pas arrêter là, comme parler avec monsieur, yo, et que nous sommes en opposition, nous sommes opposés. Mon femme qui est en opposition, me fait 18 mois. M'a proposé un système qui plein menti, un système côté que la coula caille moins, comme si éducation n'est pas inclusive. Et puis, yo te là, y avait, yo connaît yo well. Ce qui implique que Dany, moi, voulait publiquement dire merci. Et le deuxième livre sorti, là, ça, on vini, n'a allé mettre toute la cachette dehors. Parce que me garder tête, moi. Okay, I check myself out. And exactly 30 days after the campaign, September 18, that 14 years book has been published, and it's not the journey of the campaign. Now, Faustin ou même, faut qu'ils soient quoi que Flo pas de gagner une élection comme ça.
Well,
So comme ça, Faustin répond, me laissez pas la caméra liée. Nadia, I'll tell you after. He tell me that's maybe the same thing that happened to his grandpa, but we won't go there because I don't want to tell you who his grandpa is, you know. But go ahead, Faustin.
no, because if I really answer sincerely to you that question, right now,
But we have
I'm
3 more minutes. You cannot answer too sincerely there.
no, but as I said, then again, it's a question of knowing, because as Haitian, we choose candidate passionately, with sentiment. We don't choose candidate based on policies. We choose candidate because I love this guy. I don't like this guy.
Or maybe this guy is giving me a grant. I cannot reach the grant.
So,
those kind of
at
things.
at least if this guy is giving me the grant, that's good because I have my interest here. But nous choisi candidat, nous choisi moun parce que nous aimons yo, ou bien parce que nous pas aimons yo. Pendant que moi-même, le m'a regardé choix d'un candidat, c'est qui sont qu'a fait pour communauté, pour moi, pour communauté, pour petite moi. Ça police ou yo poté et politique ou a poté. Donc, je pense que c'est là, oui, chita. Je ne vais pas trop de détails parce que
Moi, fini par dire merci et me dit que une la raison qui fait que je pas gagné, c'est que la deuxième 2 semaines pendant early voting, ça dit Dany, c'est le ça pour monde qui gagné $100,000. Parce que, enfin, ça y aurait les incumbents là, il n'y a pas de campagne du tout. Ils paraissent pendant 2 semaines et puis ils font blast email qui doit coûter $25,000 et pour faire un parallèle entre eux-mêmes qui ont challenge, qui ont policy, eux-mêmes qui vraiment voulaient ouais une vision, une communauté globale et puis système là, il confortable avec monde qui gagne l'argent et puis avec monde qui gagne leverage là, on va dire leverage là et en réalité c'est même routine avec 4 ans fait et puis pas de changement qui fait. We don't have closing remarks, but inspirations. Then, and we have to meet again to talk about the journey of the campaign for people to really see the details, the knocking on doors, the phone banking. Then, what is your inspiration studying with you, Faustin?
My inspiration
Your
regarding
closing remarks, like your inspiring words, and wrapping up tonight.
Well, I'm so glad to have this opportunity to be with you and with Dany, and also I want everybody to understand, above everything, there is one thing that is very important when it comes to faith, the faith of Christ. That's my passion, the gospel of Jesus Christ, telling the world that Jesus died for sins and that he was buried and that he was raised and that he was seen of Cephas. That's the message, which is an idea that get into everybody's mind or spirit. And this message, when it's entered there, so that person must be baptized for remission of his or her sin in order to become a part of the body of Jesus Christ. So I think we may be doing a lot of things, how to do this, how to do that, how to be successful and many other things. But this is one part that we should never neglect, because there is a reality after this life. There's gonna be a lake of fire. There's gonna be something we call eternal life. And to have that eternal life, according to what I read from the book, is the fact that our Savior Jesus, the person he died, he was buried, and he was raised, and he was seen. Whoever believes in this message and get baptized need to continue in his doctrine for the rest of his life till he come back. So,
Dany, I think you have 2 minutes. It took more than your time.
I keep it very simple because I don't want to overshadow that beautiful inspirational message that you're delivering there, because the teachings of Jesus Christ are very important. And I think if you lack some literary or reading skills and you don't read very much, I think that his teachings are a form of education itself. And I would just conclude with a simple sentence that I think we kept during that campaign, which is stay true to yourself. Always stay true to yourself and fight for what you believe in.
My message for you is simple. You need to watch out. That means you need to be cautious, because in the book, there's a triangle, and that process starts with your brain. Regardless of smart, not too smart, that you think that you are. Strive to be intelligent, emotionally intelligent. So your thinking goes through your heart before you say any words, because there are words and actions that you can never erase. Gade. Until we meet again, it was Dany, Faustin, and I, and a series of book talk. Read the book, get it for a friend, and trust me, we love you. Ciao, guys.
Love you, Doc.
Bye-bye.
love you.
Thank you, Doc. Take care.
Bye, guys. I love
Bye,
you.
Dany.
Bye-bye, Faustin.
I'll connect you too, brothers.
All right.
Attention, attention, attention. Rent prices are ever increasing. COVID-19 has rents very expensive. Everybody's renting, nobody's buying. This is great news for home buyers. Own your own home for less than you pay in rent. Clover House Realty wants to help you find a place of your own. Call your local real estate expert at Clover House Realty at 754-368-4921 and see what's selling in your neighborhood. Call 754-368-4921 or visit cloverhouserealty.com to start your free home search today.